feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna get difficult to stand behind.
All right, here we go. Big day.
Everyone going down sometime.
Okay, great song actually. That is a good one. That's a good one. I found that one. Some of my Algebra 1 students gave me that one, and one of my friends showed it to me too. I was like, bro, I've already heard this one. Get out of town. You're late to the game, but that's okay. Whatever. Sunday Best by Services. Great one. That's a good one. Today we're going to continue our discussion of circles and talk about areas of circles and areas of sectors. So we're going to obviously talk a little bit about pizza some more because, yes, everyone loves pizza. Maybe not. I don't know. Do people like pizza? I don't even know sometimes. So anyway, find the area of a circle. We talked about this on in our last lesson. Okay, I told you we'd come back to it. All right, it's pi times r squared, where r is our radius. Remember, this is the cheese of our pizza. Okay, we're finding the cheese. All right, how much cheese or sauce it costs or it takes to spread all over our pizza. So to find the area of this circle, area would equal pi times 8 squared. Okay. Well, I know 8's the radius, obviously, right? It starts at the center and goes to a point on the circle. I know what 8 squared is. 8 squared is 64. And remember, I said don't multiply the pi unless it says to round your answers. And area is always measured in square units. So we need centimeters squared. Okay. I have a problem similar to this one on the next page, so let's go to the next page. Here we go. Given circle A with a diameter of 24, so the diameter is 24 inches. All right, find the area. Well, I know the area is pi r squared. If the diameter is 24, what does that make the radius? Well, you may be able to think of it right away, but I'm just going to explain it here. Remember, this is a radius. Radius is not the entire length of the segment. In fact, it takes 2 radii to form a whole diameter. That means that the length of each radius is just going to be the diameter divided by 2, or in this case, it'll be 12. So I have area equals pi times 12 squared. Well, I know what 12 squared is. It's 144 pi inches squared. Wow, that's pretty neat. How neat is that? That is neat. Yes. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. In order to keep going, though, it's important that we understand that a circle is not, in fact, a circle. It is actually a circle. So let's talk about sectors. All right. Sectors. It's a region. It's a region surrounded by 2 radii in the arc of a circle. So a sector is this part. It's the shaded part. It's 2 radii, just like that says, and a sector. So and an arc. So what a sector really is, it's a piece of pizza. Okay, it's a piece of pizza. That's why there's this little clip art there of a piece of pizza. A sector is a piece of pizza. When finding the area of a sector, I care about how much cheese or sauce it takes to cover my piece of pizza. And only my piece of pizza, not the entire circle. Okay, so remember in our last lesson when we talked about finding the length of an arc, and we said we only cared about our piece. Well, the same idea, we only care about our piece. Well, how did we denote that we only cared about our piece? How did we mark that? Well, to mark that, I'm going to write area of a sector. Okay, I know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. Well, if I only care about my piece, well, I need to think about how many degrees there are in a circle. There's 360. So if I care about my piece, I do the measure of my arc over 360 times pi r squared. So if I want to find the area of this sector, PON, I know that PN is 90 degrees, and I know that ON is 9 centimeters. Okay, so to find the area, I would do 90 over 360 times pi 9 squared. Okay, well, some of us know what 90 over 360 is. That's just 1/4. Now, if you don't have obviously, if you have a calculator, you can just plug this in and solve. All right, so I know this is 1/4 times 81 pi. But what's 81 divided by 4? I don't know that 4 goes into 81. In fact, I don't think it does. It's a decimal, so I would just leave this as 81 over 4 pi. What are the units here? Centimeters squared. Okay. Or 20.25 is the same thing. That would also work as well. But just make sure you don't multiply the pi. Now the book, for your practice, I think the book leaves exact. I'm just going to double check right now. Hold on. All right, so the book doesn't use exact. They multiply the pi out. On an assessment for us, I won't have you multiply the pi, but if I were to multiply the pi out, I would get 63.62 centimeters squared. I can do that by multiplying the pi button, or I could say 20.25 times 3.14. Sometimes if you don't have a scientific calculator, that's a workaround. However, I would because if you did 20.25 times 3.14, you get what is it, 63.58, which isn't exactly the same thing as here. Okay, it's a couple decimal points off. Your book, when you're checking your work, it may not count that as correct. So if that's the case, you keep getting that, go to Desmo's Scientific Calculator online. Just Google it, and you could do 20.25 times pi. Okay, if you don't have that ability in your calculator. Actually, I think your phone does it. Yeah, your phone should do it. If you turn it sideways, just make sure your portrait landscape is unlocked, and you'll be able to turn it sideways. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Here, you know what? I was thinking about something actually earlier today. I was thinking about what a sector reminds me of other than pizza. When we think about a sector, it kind of looks like this, right? All right. Obviously, that it looks kind of like a piece of pizza, but in the grand scheme of things, what it really looks like to me is kind of like a nose with a mouth, maybe something like that. Maybe some whiskers coming off of it. I'm not sure what this is going to be, but I think maybe some eyes. Those are pretty decent eyes. Here's an eyeball. Here's an eyeball. And then, just like a big, nice round face. This would be considered one of our good friends is coming back. You remember our friend, don't you? Yes, this is our friend. Now, obviously, a sector kind of looks like a cat's nose, but I'm not going to refer to it as that. That would be silly. Maybe even taking the time to draw this picture would be silly. But you know what? I felt like I hadn't drawn one in a while, so I figured might as well go for it. No, but seriously, like if you really wanted me to draw one, I've gotten so much better in during this time that I'm very proud of my abilities right now, and my drawing abilities are sick. It's actually something I've improved on, don't you think? Or maybe some people think I've gotten worse at it. I don't know. These are pretty fun. Enjoy them. Enjoy these drawings. They're going to be worth something someday. You'll see. You'll just see. But let's go back to some math. How about it? So we're going to find the area of the sectors formed by PSQ. All right. So what does this mean? This means that there's multiple sectors here. Well, there are two different colors. So that's our two different sectors. PSQ is 135. Remember from our rule from last week when we talked about arcs? If that's 135, and this is 135, the arc. Okay. I don't know the measure of my major arc PRQ. Okay. However, I know there are 360 degrees in a circle. All right. So if there's 360 degrees in a circle, I can do 360 minus 135 to get 225 degrees for the measure of that arc. So it says to find the area of these sectors. Well, let's find the area of sector of our minor arc, PQ. Our minor arc is going to equal the measure of our arc over 360, which is 135, times pi 15 squared. All right, so I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to ask you to do the major arc. Okay, so 15 squared times 135 over 360. Ooh, that is a bad number. So as a decimal, I got 80, or excuse me, as an exact answer, I got 675 over 8 pi, which ended up being 84.375 pi, which if I multiply the pi, that's going to give me 265.07, what is this, inches? Centimeters again. Centimeters squared. Okay. All of these answers would be acceptable. If this were the book, I would use this. Okay. Remember, when multiplying pi, it's better to use the actual pi than 3.14. Gives you more of an exact answer. All right. That bothered me. A little OCD action going on with that. Okay. Now the 8's not connected. That's also going to bother me. All right, so now I want you to find the area of the sector formed by our major arc, PRQ. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video here. I'm going to show my work. I'll put it right there when you come back. All right, so my answers were, I got 1125 over 8 pi, which was 140.625 pi. And if I multiplied the pi, I got 441.79 pi, all with centimeters squared. All right. Your practice problems are a little bit shorter. Hopefully that helped out, or hopefully that was pretty straightforward. I felt like I just connected the area of a circle with the area of a sector. Felt like this was a good short lesson for today, for you to get some extra practice in as well. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on this. Have a great rest of your day. Adios.